Aries, if I told you a fortune is coming your way, would you believe me? Not just a number, but a turning point, a quiet shift from the universe, about to unfold beneath your feet. But just one mistake, one moment of doubt, one step back, and it could all vanish like a flame in the wind. Have you ever stood at the edge of a miracle and turned away? If something inside your heart just stirred, then this next part of the journey didn't find you by accident, because right now, a door is opening. Silently, no spotlight, no music, no grand stage, just a subtle sign, but powerful enough to change everything. And if you're still enough to feel it, walk with me. What's coming next isn't just a message, it's a calling, a whisper from your soul, waiting for your answer. Now, let's step into the very first chapter of this journey, the place where real magic begins. In stillness, and in the softest light of destiny, there are moments in life that don't come with a warning bell. They don't arrive with fireworks or fanfare like a New Year's celebration. They just happen quietly, like the wind changing direction and you barely notice, like a soft light slipping through a window you thought had been shut for years. And if you don't listen with your heart, you'll think it's just another ordinary day. But to the universe, that's exactly when everything begins. Aries, right now, a door is opening in front of you, not a golden gate, not a grand invitation, but a small crack in a wall you once believed was permanent, a narrow beam of light just enough for you to place your trust in, just enough for your soul long asleep to begin waking up again. I'm not here to talk about luck. I'm not here to tell you that fortune will fall into your lap like some holiday gift from above. I'm here to remind you, the moment you've been waiting for may already have begun, and like a monk bowing in silence, let me whisper this one thing: don't walk through that door with your eyes half closed, because this is not a moment meant for everyone. This is a chance reserved for those who have walked through fire, who have lost enough to know the sacredness of keeping, and who have fallen hard enough to learn how to rise with care. You see, the universe is not short on miracles, but the sacred is not given to those who move too fast. Blessings are not handed to those who haven't found peace enough to hold them. And God does not place greatness in the hands of those still doubting who they are. Aries, no one will walk you through this door. There won't be signs, there won't be applause, there won't be guarantees, only a calling, subtle, patient, buried deep within. And if you're quiet enough, you will hear it. Have you heard that voice before? Not one that speaks in words, but one that stirs like something greater is waiting on the other side, waiting for you to remember you were never meant to live a small life. Let me tell you something. Miracles rarely show up in the form you expect. They don't come when you feel ready. They come when your soul is strong enough to carry them. And when opportunity shows up like an uninvited guest, it will test you, not with exams, but with the ordinary. It'll ask, can you recognize the extraordinary? In a quiet morning, it'll ask, can you see that even a single text message could be a key, a glance, a whisper, a choice that seems small, but shifts everything? And most of all, it'll ask if you've learned the oldest lesson of all, that miracles aren't found in the starting, but in the staying. That's the place so many of us lose it. We wish for a breakthrough, but run when it doesn't look the way we imagined. We pray for blessings, but turn away when they arrive dressed in humility. Have you been there, Aries? I believe you have. I believe you've touched something immense, and then lost it, not because you weren't worthy, but because no one taught you how to hold it. But this time something feels different. Not because the universe has changed, but because you have. You're no longer the reckless warrior, charging toward the next thrill. You are the one who has burned and learned how to keep the flame alive. You're no longer searching for light outside of yourself. You've started to see. It was inside you all along. And that, Aries, is why you are ready now. Not because you're stronger, but because you finally understand the sacred power of staying. This is the moment you realize it's not opportunity that shapes the person. It's the person who's grown enough to hold the opportunity. And if your heart is aching right now, if something deep inside you is whispering, I don't want to lose it this time, then pause, breathe, place your hand over your heart, and ask yourself, am I ready to walk through the door? God has already opened for me, not through words, but through a quiet nudge of faith. Because sometimes just one step forward in courage is enough to make heaven itself move for you. And once you step in, things will begin to shift, not around you, within you. And that's when the story moves into a deeper chapter, one where the question is no longer about the arrival of the door, but whether you are ready to keep walking, when that door begins. To test your soul, if you're ready, come with me. Let's go deeper into the space, where temptation wears the mask of opportunity, and only the hearts that have truly matured can tell the difference between light and illusion. The world inside you isn't exactly a quiet place. It's vivid, alive, sometimes chaotic, like a forest on fire beneath the sunset sky. And you, Aries, you carry that flame inside. No one had to teach you how to begin. You were born with the spark. No one had to teach you how to dream big, because dreaming is the native language of your soul, but starting is the easy part. Holding on, that's the real challenge. Have you ever noticed? How many times in your life have you seen an opportunity, felt a pull from the universe, and charged in like a rocket? But then, when results didn't show up fast enough, when the fire cooled down, when the excitement faded, did you turn away? Don't blame yourself, that's your nature. Alive, passionate, always chasing the next wind to keep your flame alive. But real growth doesn't always come from starting again. Sometimes it comes from choosing to stay, especially when you no longer feel like it, when everything goes quiet, when you're no longer sure it's worth it. Here's the truth. Life rarely tests you when you feel strong. It shows up when you're tired, unsure, and tempted to quit. Not to break you, but to see if you've learned anything since the last time. This isn't the moment to receive. This is the moment to learn how to keep. Listen closely. Not every gift from the skies is meant to be owned. Sometimes it comes like an open book, and the way you turn the pages, that's what matters. Aries, I know. You've lost things more than once. You've held something big in your hands, but it didn't last. Not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't steady enough. The universe doesn't reward hunger alone. It reveals truth to those who are willing to walk the full path, even when doubt feels heavier than hope. Do you remember the last time you gave up? The last time you were inches away from a miracle and one small fear crept in, and you let go? How many times have you come close, only to walk away from what you prayed for? And this time, can you stay until the end? That's the question your soul is whispering to you. Not shouting, not rushing, just whispering, soft enough for you to hear if you choose to be still. And if you truly listen, you'll know. This test isn't like the ones before. It's quieter, more subtle, harder, not because it's cruel, but because you've grown. Life doesn't repeat tests. It evolves them until you learn, until you stop running from yourself, until you choose to hold the flame instead of burning it out and walking away from the ashes. Remember, in the soul's journey, what matters isn't how many times you begin, but how well you honor what you've already begun. So if you're standing at a doorway now, if something has returned to your life, a dream, project, a person, a chance, ask yourself, this time, can I stay longer? Can I slow down to truly understand? Can I commit without needing applause? Can I keep going, even when no one sees me trying? Because the deeper you walk into your soul's journey, the more you'll realize loyalty to yourself is the highest test of all. And in the moment you want to quit, your soul will pause and wait. It will wait to see if you walk away again like before, or if you take a breath, place a hand over your heart and say, I can't see the way, but I'm not turning back. Because sometimes just beyond the greatest doubt is the light you've been praying for, and that light doesn't arrive like fireworks. It comes like a hand resting gently on your shoulder, like a whisper from God saying, you've learned enough, now it's time to keep. Strange, isn't it? That light doesn't crash in, it softens in, like silence that can't be named. But within that silence, you'll start to hear voices, not from your soul, but from the parts of you that still aren't ready to change. And right when you reach for what's true, that's when you'll begin to doubt yourself. It's almost like, as you're about to walk through the door, a part of you pulls back, and that is where the story gets more delicate, more hidden, where you're no longer fighting the world out there, but finally facing the voices within. Not every light is true light. Some things arrive in your life dressed as opportunity, but inside they're hollow, just a shiny shell painted in a rush. They dazzle you, they move fast, they might even stir something in you for a moment, but not long after, you realize it wasn't a guiding light. It was a flame burning through your time. Aries, your energy responds fast to motion. Anything that feels like something's happening can easily earn your trust, but not everything that moves you moves deep. Temptation doesn't always look like danger. It often shows up as something beautiful, a lucrative deal, a passionate connection, a shortcut to success. It whispers, maybe this time it'll be easier. Maybe this is the fastest way. Maybe this is what I've been waiting for. And that's when you step out of your intuition. Because when desire teams up with logic, it can justify almost anything. It can paint fear in bold colors, wrap compromise in gold, and call insecurity a sign. Are you really listening with your heart, or are you choosing the thing that gets more applause than peace? Are you investing your soul in something truly worthy, or burning it for a few moments of attention? That's a hard question, because the truth is, the path of the soul is often very quiet, but temptation throws a party. It makes you feel chosen. It makes you feel like you're on the right path, just because others agree. Makes you feel like you're winning, when really, you're drifting away from who you are. In every healing journey, there's a subtle lesson every soul must learn. Not everyone beside you is lifting you. Some people seem like they support you, but really, they're just holding you in the version they're comfortable with. They don't mean to harm you. They just don't know how to love the version of you that's changing. And sometimes, even you are afraid of the person you're becoming. Have you ever feared your own light? Feared that if you were truly brave, truly awake, no one would walk with you? Feared that your new strength would be misunderstood, called cold, different, or not who you used to be? The biggest temptation isn't always from the outside. It's the voice inside whispering, maybe I should go back to what feels safe. But Aries, the comfort zone isn't where you belong. It's just where you're used to. And the soul doesn't grow in the familiar. God doesn't plant seeds in flat, lifeless ground. He places you in storms, in untouched soil, and waits. And when you finally start to bloom, many things will look like light, but they only want to pull you out by the roots. So ask yourself, Aries, does this bring me peace or just excitement? Does this person see my soul or only the value I offer today? Does this path bring me closer to who I truly am or farther away? You don't need the answers now, you just need the courage to ask, and then the truth will rise like the moon in still wind. Don't let instant sparkle blind your soul's vision, because real light doesn't overwhelm you, it softens you. It doesn't confuse you, it makes you exhale and whisper, I've finally come home. And to know that difference, you'll have to learn something rare: persistence. Not persistence for what makes you look special, but for what makes you deep. The kind of persistence that keeps your heart from dancing to every applause, that listens for truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And once you hold that, you'll step into a new realm, where the reward is no longer what glitters on the outside, but the quiet safety inside, where, to hold the light, you must walk alone through the dark. And there's a quiet test waiting for you, not a test of success, but a test of your silent commitment to your soul. The world loves those who start strong, the pioneers, the ones bold enough to take the first step, to be the first to do something. And yes, Aries, you're one of them. You're not afraid to begin. You don't shy away from challenge. You dive in when others hesitate, often the first to spark the fire in a room that's gone cold. But maybe no one ever taught you how to keep that fire alive. When the cheering fades, when the spotlight disappears and it's just you and the repetition. Persistence isn't flashy. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't get written on book covers or shouted in success stories. But deep down, it's the one thing that shapes the soul's destiny. Aries, in meditation, people don't train to erase every thought. They train to stop chasing them. And just like that, you don't need to make life free of challenges. You just need to stop letting doubt or boredom pull you under. Because soul expansion doesn't happen at the starting line. It blooms halfway through, where no one's clapping, where most have already quit. And right there, you'll face a choice: go back and start over, or stay and become something more. Maybe you've started over many times. You were excited, you had dreams, you wrote down your goals, swore you wouldn't give up. But when the feelings faded, you started wondering if this was still the right path. Here's what I want you to know: clarity doesn't always show up at the beginning. It grows each time you choose to stay, and that choice to stay is one of the most sacred acts your soul can ever make for itself. No one but you knows how many times you've wanted to give up, how many nights you placed a hand on your chest and whispered, "What am I even doing this for?" But every time you choose not to quit, even when no one sees it, even when there's no reward, you're doing something extraordinary. You're sending a signal to the universe: I'm ready to hold what I once prayed for. And that's when God starts trusting you more. Not because he didn't already know who you are, but because you are beginning to know yourself. Have you ever thought that persistence isn't about struggling to keep going? It's about staying with yourself, even when you're not perfect. Not excited, not praised. You don't need to run faster than anyone else. You just need to stay loyal to the path you chose, because the true winner isn't the most talented, but the one who refuses to abandon themselves, even when everything inside them starts to shake. Have you ever felt like you were the one who let your own dream slip away? Not anyone else. You, the one who gave up right before the moment was ripe. You who walked away when the miracle was just beginning. You who thought that one bad feeling was the truth. But real truth doesn't live in passing emotions. It lives in the steady rhythm of a committed heart. Picture it, a small flame. It doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to blaze. It just needs not to go out. And that flame is you. If you can keep it alive through the dark nights, through the silent days, through the empty spaces no one claps for, then one day it will be bright enough to warm your whole destiny. So Aries, I'm not asking what great things you can do. I'm only asking this: can you hold on to what you once begged for, when the only thing keeping you going is a promise you made to your soul? Because on the other side of persistence is not the reward, but the rebirth. And when you keep the fire alive, not just your career that changes, not just the money, the fame, or the status, it's your entire soul level that rises. You begin to live from depth, not just width, from quality, not quantity, from the heart, not reaction. And that's when everything starts to expand in the most powerful, beautiful, and lasting way. That's when you stop asking, how can I have more? And start asking, how can I keep what's sacred without losing myself? And that question is the key. It opens a deeper door where money, fortune, and light are no longer the goal, but the tools to step into the highest version of yourself. One day, you'll realize money is not the reward. It's not the glory at the end of the road or the trophy for the strongest. Money is just light. A very particular kind of light that reflects who you've become on this journey. It's not here to make you feel richer than others. It arrives when you live in truth, when you dare to receive, to choose, to build. Abundance is not a reward, it's a reflection. True wealth doesn't come from grinding yourself into exhaustion. It's the universe gently whispering, you've had the courage to live aligned with your soul. Here's something not many people will tell you, Aries. Not everyone with money is truly living, but those who do live fully, authentically, present in every moment, they are the ones strong enough to hold it. Because money, if not placed in the hands of someone who serves something greater than themselves, will slip away like water through fingers. Money is not compensation, not some prize for having suffered enough. It's a tool, a lever, to help you fulfill your soul's promise to this life. And that promise was never about living an easy life. It was always about living a meaningful one. Have you ever asked, if I had enough money, what would I really do differently? But maybe the better question is, if I lived true to my soul, would I allow money to come in and stay? Because sometimes you are the one rejecting abundance and you don't even know it. It hides in the small thoughts. I don't deserve this. I'm not ready yet. Others need it more than I do. Money only brings trouble, and just like that, you push away the light you once prayed for. Be honest with yourself. How many opportunities have you lost? Because you rushed, because you were scared, because you didn't believe it was meant for you. Money isn't a traitor, it simply follows the frequency you broadcast. And if your soul is sending out signals of lack, of I'm not enough, then even if the universe offers you a miracle, you'll quietly say no. So pause and ask your heart one simple question. This time, can I hold it? Not just the money, but the faith, the commitment, the truth, myself. Write it down as a new vow to your soul. This time I stay steady. I choose the path of my soul. Let those words echo like a soft knock on the door of your real life. Write it as if you were signing a sacred contract with the universe, because money, when it finds its way into the hands of the truthful, becomes light that serves the collective. It becomes a home for forgotten dreams. It becomes the power behind the change this world is waiting for. Don't be the one who walks past blessings without noticing. Don't let your heart go numb to the knock of opportunity. You are worthy not because you're perfect, but because you chose to grow with grace. You are enough not because you lack nothing, but because you've learned how to never lose your soul, just to gain comfort. And when you live at that frequency, money comes. Not as a miracle, but as a natural result. Like the sun rises when the sky brightens. Like flowers bloom when spring gets warm enough. Like water finds its source. And light finds those ready to shine it into the world. And when you can hold money in your hands, when you've walked through your old fears and said yes to what once scared you, something else arrives. Not from the outside, not from your bank account, not from praise or achievements. It comes from recognition, from the way you gently look at yourself in the mirror, from that quiet moment when you realize, I'm no longer fighting myself. And that moment, that right there, is where the real miracle begins to multiply. If you're sitting quietly right now, if your heart is still slowly opening, then let me place my hand on it, not to teach, but to remind you of something you once knew but maybe forgot. If you knew for sure, with not even 1% of doubt, that you wouldn't fail, that what you're longing for is on its way, that your life is about to shift in miraculous ways, would you begin today? Not tomorrow, not when I feel more ready, not let's see how things go first, but right now, because the truth is, you're not lacking the resources, you're just waiting on your own permission. You are the one who hasn't said yes to your soul yet. Aries, sit with your heart, gaze into that nameless space inside, and slowly ask, am I walking with myself or still running from me? The light you've been praying for doesn't come from the spotlight. It slips in quietly like morning light through a cracked door, soft, gentle, but strong enough to change the color of everything. It doesn't blind you, it touches you, like the hand of God resting on your forehead on an ordinary morning when you didn't do anything grand except you stopped fighting yourself, and what you thought was wealth may have never been about money. Real abundance doesn't begin in your bank account, it begins at the moment you stop abandoning yourself, when you stop rejecting what you truly desire, when you stop trading your peace just to please someone else, when you stop retreating from the dream just because it makes you feel small. The second you say yes to your most honest self, the universe won't wait another second. It moves, it rearranges. It starts sending you all the things you thought were too far, too big, too much to ask for. So Aries, a fortune is coming to you, not just in numbers, but in a whole new energy field, a new atmosphere, a new version of you, the one your soul has always known was real. But one wrong move, one moment where you betray yourself, one time you turn away from your truth, and you could lose it all. Not because someone is punishing you, but because miracles don't live where you're not fully present. And holding on to something sacred, holding the light, holding the faith, holding your kindness to yourself is a commitment no one can make for you. No fancy oath, no complicated ritual. Just this, pause, really pause, and whisper to yourself, this time I stay. This time I won't turn away. This time I believe I'm worthy. If that lands in your heart, let it be the energy that carries you through today. And if you're ready to place your hand on the door that's about to open, then write these words, not for me, but for you. This time I stay steady. I choose the path of my soul. Write it down as if you were signing your name on a sacred contract with God, softly, but with no hesitation, because you're not just given a blessing, you are the one who creates the space for it to live. Thank you for listening, not just with your ears, but with a wide open heart. Wherever you are on your journey, whether you're in the light or the dark, on a high or starting all over again, I only wish you one thing, that you have the courage not just to begin, but to follow through, with faith and with love for yourself. Keep your light, Aries, be brave as you've always been, but this time, be softer, be deeper, be more real, because you're not just worthy of miracles, you are the one who makes them happen, not through explosion, but through quiet, honest presence day by day. May peace be with you. And may you have the strength to hold everything that was always meant to be yours.